Okay. So, look at everybody that's here. Ah, it's two Nickies in a cave. Hi, guys. Okay, we're total nuts. And of course, I'm sitting here with my sister, and Nikki is trapped in this nonsense that is all, I mean, you guys know I'm all about nonsense. And then you put my sister in the mix, and it gets so much worse. But, so.
We'll leave Jersey out of this.
Stop it. So I wanted to record this because I do know that we had quite a few people interested in joining us tonight that couldn't, and I really want you guys to get this information. So I'm recording it, I'm posting it so that you can go back to it. And Kate is working on a major life journey just like the rest of us. It's a little bit different path, but she's going to be like pumping some big time, well, she is pumping some big time iron, and we'll see her competing on a stage someday. So she's also working on some major education along the way. And so I wanted her to share just a few of her must-knows about nutrition. And a lot of it is things that we talk about on a regular basis, but sometimes hearing it live from somebody's voice can really make an impact. Or you've made some of these changes already, but you need to take it to the next level. So I just wanted to be able to share some of this stuff. She and I talk about these things a lot. In fact, if you follow my sister and you follow me on social media, we're almost always on the same wavelength. Like last week, we both posted about chili. So and we posted about like mac and cheese.
On mac and cheese.
I don't even know. We didn't even talk. We just ended up making the same things in the same day. Yeah. Totally bizarre. So anyways.
It creeps me out a little bit. But I think you did have cheese in yours, right?
I did have cheese in mine.
See, you're lucky. Yeah, I didn't make butternut squash. But it was just as tasty.
Of course.
Just as good.
So, I'm going to give it over to Kate, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her journey. And I don't know what you whittled down your list to, your top.
We're doing the most common unhealthy, healthy foods.
Okay, cool. All right. So we're gonna knock down some myths out there. So I'm gonna mute myself and let her take over. And Kate, I'll try and give you a warning when we're getting close to our time.
I'm excited about this warning.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you to my sister, my misfit sister, for welcoming into you guys. Just maybe not so much education, but a refresher, and yeah, maybe some education along the way about some things that you may see in supermarkets or other personal trainers and nutritionists out there giving maybe not always the best advice. I do see, as I've started going through school, well, to start at the beginning, my husband and I are both on bodybuilding journeys. My husband decided to start training to compete as a professional bodybuilder. And through that process, I met a female figure competitor who just kind of got that little switch that we've all needed flipped in our heads to start getting healthy. She was once almost 300 pounds like I was, and she started lifting weights and eating clean and looking at life with a, more of a perspective of the glass is always half full. And she motivated me to start working out and stuff like that. So that's what I did, and I'm over 100 pounds down. I still have another 30 pounds to go or so, but I'm all about putting on that muscle now. I want to be ripped and not masculine, but ripped. I do want those sexy curves there, like we all do. But as I started going through this process, I decided that I found my true calling and I wanted to go to school. I'm finally decided what I want to do, going to school for nutrition, personal training, sports personal training, and dietitian. And in the less than year that I've been in classes and stuff, I've learned so much. And every time I see bad advice given out to others, I kind of want to pull my hair out, honestly. So you all should take a wonderful little thank you to your coach, Nicole, over here, for wanting to make sure that you guys do have the proper knowledge about the products that are out there and stuff like that. So, okay, let's get started. The unhealthy, healthy foods. Don't forget, we have to quote the healthy stuff. So I'm sure as many of you know that fruit juice, one of the most common things that a lot of parents, especially moms, are looking to keep kids hydrated, keep them nourished, keep them drinking, which can be a struggle for a lot. But reality is fruit juice is very little fruit. It's all artificial flavorings, colors, very high in high fructose corn syrup more often than not. There are better options out there, like Honest Kids Company and things like that, but you have to take it with a grain of salt as well, that it's still fruit juice. There's still sugar in it, high levels of sugar. So what's the best thing to do? Do it yourself. Make it yourself. Get a watermelon or fruit that's in season, puree it with some, coconut water, anything, and give that to the kiddos instead. Rather than purchasing extra juices, use what you have. Just throw in some coconut water or even regular water, however you want to do it. And you can save money too. One of the biggest things, I recently found out that I thought I was gluten sensitive, found out I have celiac. So, oh yeah, sorry, Nikki. I forgot to tell you. What? Yeah. So, going through that whole process, I've taken an additional course on
I'm going to pause just for a second. This makes total sense for your body and your mental reactions, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay, all right. Carry on.
And if anyone would like to know more about what led to the diagnosis, you're always more than welcome to message me or hit me up on social media. You can get any of the information from Nicole. More than welcome to do it at any time. She'll give it to you. So in that process, I took another course about wheat nutrition, whole wheat and things like that. Now let's keep in mind, whole wheat is still healthier than refined flours. It's still a better choice. It's still not the best choice. Wheat converts to pure sugar in the gut. So a lot of people that call the beer belly, it's actually not beer. It's the gluten from the wheat that's used to make the beer. So it causes fat collections. It is difficult for your body to break down, causing bloating, a lot of pain, incomplete digestion, and it also blocks absorption of proper nutrients within the gut. If you don't have a healthy gut, you can't have a healthy body. Your gut health responds to your mental health, which is what I had a lot of problems with ADD and mood swings and I'll be honest, mood swings, depression, not handling emotions well. And since I found this out and started omitting the gluten and the wheat, I have more clarity in my thought processes and handling my emotions and stresses and things. And the other thing, gluten, that studies have shown that it can increase your cholesterol almost 60%. So when everyone is worrying about cholesterol in egg yolks, which is now, studies have been released that the egg yolk cholesterol is perfectly healthy for you. Of course, moderation. But you may as well eat 20 egg yolks versus 1 or 2 slices of whole wheat bread. So it's just something to keep in mind. Look for those whole grains rather than the gluten. You do have to be careful of the gluten fat as well. There's a lot of fads going out right now. Look at ingredients. If you see any kind of wheat byproduct, things like that, I can also share some information with Nicole about what exactly to look for in those ingredient lists. But you can lessen it. It's always better for you. You want a healthier gut so you can have a healthier mind and body. The other thing that Nicole and I talked about briefly earlier, agave nectar. There's this whole thing about agave nectar. And it's low on the glycemic index. However, you may as well just eat regular sugar because it causes metabolic delays. It slows down your metabolism, and ultimately, which can lead to obesity, diabetes, and other health-related obesity issues. Regular sugar is 50% natural fructose, whereas agave is up to 90%. So when you're looking at your GI appropriate foods and things like that, really do some research before you start consuming things like this, because in the long run, it can end up doing more harm than good. So again, I use honey really for everything. Even when I bake, I use coconut flour and honey now. I even make brownies using black beans and honey. Question? Yes.
Quinoa flour?
What?
Quinoa flour? Is that?
Yeah.
Do you find that acceptable? Okay, because that's what I use instead of, I don't have regular flour in my house. I have quinoa flour, I have quinoa pasta on the rare occasions that I use it.
Yeah, you could even use coconut flour. I use coconut flour or tapioca as well. Like with cakes and brownies and things like that, it's nice to throw a little tapioca because it keeps it lighter. So it won't be a brick of chocolate. Oh, muted again. So, the other comparison with agave nectar is if you have learned about high fructose corn syrup and how detrimental it is to your health, agave nectar is the same thing. So avoid it at as many costs as you can. Okay, my favorite one. I'm going to kind of get on a little pedestal here. This is what I call the fat-free fad, and it makes me insane. Where do I start? Fat doesn't make you fat. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Mm-hmm. Amen? Okay. So it's not what causes individuals to gain fat. It's the chemicals that go into the fat-free, low-fat products that cause the fat. When companies are manufacturing, let's say, yogurt, because this is the most common product, when you're looking at yogurts and you see, oh, okay, Chobani, 0%. Okay, no fat, that means it's good for me. Well, what's happening is Chobani is removing the natural sugars, the natural nutrients from those fats and putting in synthetic products. They're putting in artificial sweeteners, they're adding sodium, they're adding preservatives. It's just full of junk. It's not considered a clean food. If you stay in higher fat contents, it's a cleaner food. It's not processed as much. So when they remove the flavor, they're putting in junk. Go full fat. Go full fat. I mean, let's do this fat thing. Let's consume some fat, just in moderation.
This is exactly my point. When you're eating these full fat things or drinking full fat things, you're not consuming huge quantities of them. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're having a thing of full fat yogurt and you've made it yourself, like we post in our groups, doing yogurt with fruit and some unsweetened natural applesauce, then it doesn't matter because you're eating that once a day and your body needs healthy fats, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up. I just get so hyped up about this one. I can't help it. It makes hard.
It's one of those things where I see, and nutritionists, and this is the thing I can't stand either, is there are so many like fitness competitors that promote fat-free, and it makes me crazy because you're just feeding your body toxins. So I don't get it. But then again, those are the people that are doing hydroxycut and things like that.
So I guess this is the thing is we've been fed this information by big companies that are built their business. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to teach us we need these things or we don't need certain things because it's a business. They're trying to sell to us. And when they came out with this stuff, let's back up just a little bit. Like when McDonald's first became McDonald's, they did not have the intention to make all of us insane and take over our bodies and make us sick and, you know, put chemicals into our foods. But it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and they lost control, and they became money hungry. And then they started hiring scientists to create things, items that are literally called hyperpalliatives. Have you gotten to this part about stuff, Katie? Hyperpalliatives. That
you're freezing up on me a little bit.
Sorry.
It's okay.
They're creating super flavored chemicals because they're trying to attract more people. We're becoming immune to the flavor of things, so we need them to be more flavorful. And it's literally creating brain damage in people.
Right.
Literally. It has been proven by neuroscientists. Hyperpalliatives in our foods, in our drinks, in our coffees. My pumpkin spice latte lovers. I'm serious. Like, they are all flavors created in a lab. None of them are natural flavors. And it's, again, if you have one, that's fine. But if you're an addict to that stuff, think about it. Just think about it.
Which is, it makes a good point too, Nikki, because I say it to people all the time, sugar and additives are, this day and age, real drug problem.
Yes, they are.
Aside from street drugs, this is the biggest drug problem we have in our country. And I don't want to say that I'm one of those people that plays into conspiracy theories, but not everything.
Yes, you are. Okay, go ahead.
More so since I started this damn schooling thing. Like, it goes into GMOs. Everything is GMOs. So I just got the notification.
I know.
So you just have to be careful of synthetic and chemical products in what you're buying every day. And it's butter.
One little thing at a time, right? One thing at a time. Just thinking and being, what's the word I want to use? An educated consumer. Literally, consumer.
Right. Advocate for your well-being through your mouth. If you're going to be an advocate for yourself medically, you need to be an advocate for yourself internally, what you're putting into your body, you know, aside from medications and things, you know, what you're drinking. What kind of coffee are you drinking? What kind of tea are you drinking? What kind of cereals? Cereals aren't healthy. This is my other big thing. Cereals, unnecessary. Cheerios is one of the biggest ones. They just came out with a gluten-free because there's so many people in the U.S. that have gluten intolerances now that they're finding out. Cereal companies are going to market things as multigrain, and they are, in fact, not multigrain. There could be a very small percentage of actual multigrain in that actual Cheerio that you just ate, and the rest of it is enriched flour. They don't have to tell you how the percentages, which I don't think is okay. So it's another thing to keep in mind. Just because products are marked as healthy does not mean they are healthy. More than likely, if it says it's healthy, it's not. That's the rule of thumb I use when shopping now. If it says good source of blah, 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 no, I'm not. I'll go to the other one. The other thing about yogurt with fat-free stuff, when they're removing fat, the fat contains a lot of the digestive enzymes that our bodies needs, the probiotics, acidophilus, things like that. When they're pulling that fat out, that's when they're also removing those probiotics. That's why Dannon came out with Activia, because they souped it up with probiotics in order to get your digestive system flowing. So if you're eating a full-fat yogurt, say like on the 21-day fix, you're allowed half a cup of yogurt. If you do a full cup, or I'm sorry, not a full cup, if you do full fat, do a little bit less than half. Just keep it in moderation. That's it. So if you're going to moderate the low fat, go full fat and moderate it just a little bit more. It's not impossible. Enjoy the full fat, everyone. Enjoy the full fat. Just be cautious of it. Have your fat and eat it too. The one thing you do want to be careful with there's barely anything there. The one thing that you want to be careful with is animal fat, obviously. So try to stick to a little leaner meats and things like that if you're going to enjoy your full-fat yogurts. Cooking oils, highly processed. A lot of, you'll see canola and things like that, vegetable oils. Try to just stay away from them. Stick to your coconut oils and your extra virgin olive oil. They're full of good fat for you, of course, moderation again. I use mostly coconut oil for the most part now, and I enjoy it more. Unrefined, it's going to have more of a coconut flavor, and it has a lower cooking temperature, whereas refined coconut oil is a higher temperature cooking oil, and there is very little coconut flavor in them. So just kind of use that when you're cooking. So that's pretty much it that I got for you guys for right now. I'm more than happy to put some more information together for you because I have a ton of it. So I'd be happy to share that with Nicole, and she could pass that on to you guys. So thank you for having me.
Hey, Kate, I want to go back to something real quick.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about gluten and whole grains, and like obviously if you have no other choice, looking for a whole wheat would be like your bottom line choice.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a ton of bread in your current lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
but what do you choose if you are going to have bread?
There are gluten-free breads out there.
There's a lot now.
Yeah, most of them are bricks.
Uh-huh.
So I've been kind of trying some, and I'm having a hard time really finding what I like.
Okay.
I do okay with Ezekiel. There is gluten in it, but it seems that there's not enough in it to really bother me. If I overdo it, the first trigger I usually get is breakouts. Like I had a piece the other day and I broke out on my chest real bad. And on my arms, that's my chicken skin I've complained about my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Gluten.
Mm-hmm.
All these years. And it's just from me reading an article. There are some good breads out there. Personally, I haven't found one that I care for yet, so I just kind of avoid it.
Okay.
To be honest.
Because I use Ezekiel, I definitely feel like it's I like that it's mature. It's mature grains,
Mm-hmm.
multi-grain. And I would agree, like if I have what I would consider a cheaper bread, I can definitely feel the difference in my body now that I'm more aware of it, for sure.
Right.
And I don't know if that's just my body knowing that, like immature grains are bad for us.
Well, your body probably has an easier time breaking it down too,
Mm-hmm.
because there's not as many chemicals and fortified, enriched garbage in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sprouted grains. That's all it is. So it's much simpler
Mm-hmm.
for your body to break down.
Preservatives and all that junk.
Mm-hmm.
What else was I going to ask you? I like that we spent a lot of time on fat. Thank you. Nikki, what kind of questions do you have or comments do you have? What's something that you heard tonight that maybe you was like a click for you, or just something you're pulling away?
I didn't really know about the fat stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting? And the funny thing is that I have probably not made a big deal about it, but I have mentioned it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most people don't notice it, or they just, because our brains are just so, geared to looking at the shelves and seeing zero fat.
Right. Because as I said, like it was nice to hear her say that, because you don't ever see anything that says like, yeah, you can have it. It's always, everything is geared towards, it's zero fat, zero this, and zero that.
Right.
Yeah. And even like in our food guides, for some of them, it still says like non-fat plain Greek yogurt is what they have listed in there. And I think that a lot of the nutritionists know different, but they know how people think,
Mm-hmm.
and so they won't tell them that because they know it causes this big uproar. We get really uncomfortable when they are trying to convince us that no, that hasn't really been right. They thought they were on the right track, but it really isn't.
Right.
A
A lot of that too, Nick. Sorry to interject, but a lot of that too with nutritionists promoting it, it also has to do with macronutrient intake. I talk to you about recalculating macros for us constantly because macros are your fat, your protein, and your carbs. If you're taking in carbs, you have a carb heavy day, you don't want a lot of fat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they promote things like that, because people are eating, steaks and things like that, skirt steaks with a lot of fat. So they're thinking, oh, okay, we'll do fat-free yogurt to make up for it, which, no.
Well, and there's a difference between people that just want a quick fix and they don't think clean. If you eat clean, that is actually different than eating low fat or like a fad kind of thing. It's a totally different.
Clean is different from healthy.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Absolutely. And just because something says organic or natural does not mean that it's healthy.
Exactly.
It can be organic, like you said with the juices. It can say organic or natural and be packed with sugar.
Exactly.
So probably the two biggest things.
Organic sugar. That's organic.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think fat and sugar are like those two things out there that we don't talk enough about. And these are when you take fat out, you put chemicals in. When you take sugar out, you put chemicals in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you just have to think. So like when I'm looking at things on the shelves, I'm looking for a normal, like it's not going to say low fat. If it says low fat or no fat, it's gone. I don't even look at it. Okay. If it says no added sugar, I'm going to flip it around to see what it's using as a sweetener. And if it's organic, I'm going to look at the sugar level in it.
Mm-hmm.
Automatically, like those are habits I've developed. Automatically look when I'm shopping and I'm picking out something new or adding something into my ingredients list for something.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
I'm actually going to start making my own yogurt as soon as I get my hands on the cultures, and I am super excited to do it. Like nerdy excited about doing it. Like
I let one friend try it, and it didn't go very well.
Okay.
So
I've made whey for Ricardo.
Okay.
To add to smoothies and shakes and stuff, which went really well, and then he just ate the curds. I mean, really, just overboil some milk, like like let's just. But yeah, I really want to do yogurt. This
will be interesting. I can't wait to see an update on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kate, where have you started a web page yet?
Not yet. I'm in the process of setting up a blog.
Okay. Did you purchase a domain name?
It looks like I'm gonna do it through Weebly. It was a little bit of a pain in the behind because my computer is a pain in the behind. But I'm gonna be doing Madrigal bodybuilding.
Okay.
As the page, and I'm gonna link it to our Once Upon a Barbell Facebook page. It'll be linked and shared there as soon as I get it set up. That's my project for tomorrow. As long as the baby cooperates, I'm getting that done. Cooperates. I'm getting that set up and done.
She needs a cage.
And it's going to be recipes. It's going to be tips and nutrition, tips and training, pretty much things that I've learned and I am continuing to learn. I want to share. That's the best way to do it.
Awesome.
So exciting.
You should start doing this stuff more often and put up a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I'd
be happy. I'd be happy to.
Yay. Well, thank you for doing this. I'm going to stop recording and then we'll, we'll just shoot the shit a little bit here in just a second. Thank you. If anybody has questions after watching this, post them in the comments below when I post it, and I'll send them to her. Okay, she's right here, I think, on your screen. And we'll get some answers and see if she can dispel any other food myths for us. So, thank you.
Yeah, happy to.